Oh my gosh, it's Six Flags Over Georgia. I've never been there. They're not open right now. But you can see Goliath's getting a repaint from those ugly orange color to a blue color that looks definitely better. I didn't realize that it was quite that large. I didn't realize the park was this close to the road either. So
it is. It's right off the interstate.
Yeah, I'm with Blake today. We're going to Fun Spot this afternoon. It's the middle of February, so Over Georgia is unfortunately not open. I've still never been there, but here's my first time seeing it. Oh, it's actually Six Flags Parkway.
Yeah, this is the entrance road.
Yeah, we only came this way because there was an accident on the interstate where we were trying to go, and then we just happened to be routed by Over Georgia. So it's funny how that works sometimes.
But yeah, there's the entrance.
Bus stop right there. Twisted Cyclone's looking a little rough. Probably needs a repaint.
Yeah.
But yeah, this truck used to be all like ugly orange. Now they're going for a blue and gray look. It actually looks pretty good, I'm not gonna lie. Yeah. It's a very compact little park compared to what I thought. It definitely looks different than I expected, but that's how most parks are. I want to go in and ride it now, but it's not open. You can
for it though, you'll see
a bit of the orange.
There's all the parking.
Yeah, their parking lot's a little weird.
Giant parking lot.
There's apparently the best Batman, the ride. Yeah. All right, bye. That makes no sense at all.
Roller coaster tucked away in a little park in South Metro Atlanta.
Oh, it is running.
It is.
So that's good.
There it goes.
It's so funny. You're just like on some random road, and then it's just like there's a roller coaster for reasons, I guess.
A roller coaster.
Actually, a pretty decently sized one.
This huge
Makes
roller coaster.
No sense, but that looks like a mostly full train, so that's exciting. I was hoping that would be the case because the weather's actually pretty nice today. It's like 70 degrees, even though it's the middle of February. Anyways, when you pull into Fun Spot, they've done a bit of work up at the front, actually putting up some fences back there, because the first time I came here, they just kind of had like trash cans set up to guide you back here. It looks like they've repaved some of this, so they've definitely done quite a bit of work up through the front area of the park here. We'll talk about that more later. There are definitely some changes, I think, that have been made. So in addition to the vlog, I may go ahead and also do a what's new at Fun Spot video, because there's a few changes since last time I've been here for sure. We're going to experience some true flight today.
Oh yeah.
That's for sure. Anyways, welcome to Fun Spot, America, Atlanta. I'm visiting my friend Blake here in Atlanta. This morning we're both kind of into public transit and urban planning and stuff. So I got to ride Marta for the first time this morning, which he rides into work every day. And then also went to World of Coca-Cola, checked out some stuff downtown. It's about 3:30, just rolled into the park. It's very nice today. It's the middle of February, or the beginning of February, but it's like 70 degrees, which makes no sense. But that should mean that ArieForce is running pretty good and all that. So they're back to using proper security today, which is interesting. It's been very much a hit or miss when I've come here, whether they actually use security or not, but they did today. Anyways, I went ahead and got a season pass because I am intending to go down to Orlando this summer, and I want to be able to hit the Orlando park. It's open pretty late typically, and it's right next to Universal, where I'm hoping to go this summer. So I went ahead and got that. If I come here like twice and there twice, then it definitely comes out as way cheaper. So I was able to do that. But anyways, again, it's the middle of February, which is I think what's the best part, other than this ride itself. The best part about this ride being built here is that this park is open year-round, at least on weekends. Unfortunately, they are not open on Fridays, or at least on Fridays, it's arcade only. So you can't ride ArieForce on Fridays. However, this is pretty much the only place in the Southeast where you can come, outside of Florida, where you can come in the middle of the winter and ride something like this on a random Saturday in February. It is currently February 8th. I did do this once last year in January, but that day it was very cold and raining. So they had, due to staffing shortages and the rain, the only ride open was ArieForce. That was it. And the park was like dead empty, and it was cold and raining. Today, it's much better. It's like 70 degrees out right now, which you can probably tell encouraged a lot of locals to come out. This is probably the busiest I've ever seen the park other than opening weekend of ArieForce, which is pretty exciting. It's very nice to see this park with a lot more energy around. But of course we're going right to ArieForce One, because that's, most of the reason we're here right now.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, so this is my friend Blake. Not really a big coaster enthusiast, but you definitely enjoyed ArieForce the first time you rode it, right?
I did.
Sweet, nice. I've got my RMC shirt on, so everybody knows exactly why I'm here. You know, no questions. All right, I'm gonna do a what's new video later, separate as I already mentioned. But they have added music to this ride plaza area, which is super interesting. That's new and it's kind of fun, for sure. They've also added on-ride photos here. So that's right there at the bottom. It's right after the Outer Bank Airtime Hill. They did not have those previously, so it's cool that they've added that. Again, I'll probably do a video with all this stuff later. Let's see if they added any new theming into here. I don't really think they have. But there you go. Oh, they have a new sign for no cutting. I guess that was a problem. Okay, yeah, they've added a few extra little things to the table here. The TV that used to have a queue line video, it looks like something happened. They didn't click it today. They didn't set it up.
Sequence engaged.
I'll check log ride in a second. I think I just did 8 rides in a row because they have this really awesome policy where if there's nobody else in your row or in another row, you can just move to whatever row is empty and just stay on. So you can just keep re-riding without having to leave the platform. But yeah, I've been eating mostly junk food today. So after about, I think it was 8 rides, I'm feeling a little woozy. So I'll take a little break here, but I am hoping to break my record today, which is 17. So I just have to ride at least 18 times today. Which I know is nowhere near a lot of other people's records, but you know.
They have like an ArieForce One podium in this party room. I just came in here to use the restroom. It's kind of funny. I've never actually been in here, but I know they use it for certain. I know you can use it for those kinds of things. But anyways.
And Blake's skee-ball skills. Oh, the first shot before I recorded, he got like right in the middle. Oh, there you go. Okay. Nice. Dang, that was so close. Walking through the arcade building, on one end you have the arcade, then you have this long hallway with some random things, including this beautiful mirror. Look at that. That is high quality right there. This one basically makes you disappear. And then down here is the food court that has bumper cars in it for some reason. I know they've talked about redoing this space at one point, and they definitely should, because it's kind of weird. But the colors are a little out there, yeah.
From the Fun Junction days, or maybe even...
Yeah, that's old. Yeah, it's just funny. Also funny, the bumper cars are just in the middle of the food court.
Smell of gasoline. Hell yeah.
directed to exit. Please remain seated until directed to exit. Please remain seated until directed to exit.
Go-karts are funny because, you know, there's just so much speed variation in the individual karts. People were passing me even though I was doing, like, everything right to stay in front. But yeah, I thought that was a fun track. What'd you think?
I'd say it was. But
Yeah.
seriously, like, he ended up in front of me, Christian ended up in front of me, and I had the floor, like, foot on the floor, trying to overtake him, and I just couldn't.
Oh yeah, I had foot on the floor and I was taking all the insides of all the turns and everything, and like 5 people still flew past me. It's just funny how that works. Anyways, I'm gonna use the restroom real quick and then head over near the front of the park a little bit. Oh my gosh, fakey airtime, whoa! All right, so I'm not gonna lie, almost every time I come here, I spend almost the entire time back by ArieForce, so I actually haven't been up to the front of the park that much, so I'm not as familiar with it, so I won't know as much about what's changed or what may be new up here. But what I do know is that Fun Spot Atlanta did get a new ride this year, a small off-the-shelf fair flat ride. It's in this area near the front of the park that's just the kind of like grass field area with all the little random fair carnival rides. It's just feels completely different than the back half of the park. This park's so weird because it's very small, but at the same time it feels like 3 different parks. Very different styles of parks shoved together. It's very strange. Anyways, their new ride for this year is called Hook and Slice. It's an SBF Visa ride of some sort. It looks like we may not get to ride it today because it looks like maintenance is working on it, unfortunately. But there it is back there. Yeah, it's temporarily closed for some kind of mechanical issue. I guess that's what you get when you go with SBF Visa. But yeah, so it looks like they did give it like a proper concrete pad and everything. It looks like a temporary traveling ride, which I thought was a little bit strange. Here it is. We might see it run a cycle in a second while maintenance is working on it. We'll see if we get to ride it a little bit later. So there it goes. It's very similar to Chance Rides has one of these. Of course, this is SBF Visa, so I assume this is like the cheaper version, which is why it's kind of funny that they went with that. But yeah, I don't know. Most SBF Visa rides I've ridden are like not bad, but like they're noticeably the cheaper versions, if you know what I mean. So I assume that's what this one will be like, although I haven't ridden the Chance Ride one that's like this. But yeah, it's got a golfing theme. That's why it's called Hook and Slice. And you can see it just kind of lifts like that and spins in a circle, and looks like something that might make me a little bit sick, but I don't know. I don't do as good with spinning flat rides, but if it opens back up a little later, I'll give it a try. Again, it's nice. It's on its own concrete pad, so they've at least tried to make it look a little bit nicer than some of these rides that are just plopped up on milk crates on the grass, but still very different than the like ArieForce style. So it'll be really interesting to see how this park continues to move forward with new additions like this. All right, Blake has not ridden Hurricane before, so we're gonna ride Hurricane. This is their ENF Myler old thing. I don't know.
Reminds me of a Sand Serpent at Busch Gardens, Tampa.
Okay, I don't know what the thoughts on Hurricane.
Very jerky, especially in the corners. I don't think I've had my head shaken that much since Thunderhead over at Dollywood. The whole thing just felt so janky, it felt like it was held together by duct tape.
Yeah, it's an old ENF Myler. What's funny is that the drops, I remember this from last time I rode it, the drops are butter smooth, and then the turns are like the roughest moments I've like ever experienced on a coaster. So it's really weird. The first couple turns are not bad. Each one gets progressively worse. What I did notice this time is that there are trim brakes throughout the ride. All of them are turned off. So each drop gets progressively more insane, and each turn gets progressively rougher.
Jerkier.
Yeah, and it's not even like rough in the traditional sense. It feels like the whole train is like rocking side to side violently. It's almost like the track's profiled that way on purpose. It's strange. So I've said before, that could be an amazing coaster actually, despite how janky it looks, if they got somebody to come and retract the turnarounds or something.
Yeah.
Because the drops are actually pretty incredible, especially for a ride of that size. Just the way that the train's laid out and those restraints, they feel really, really good. It's funny, that ride makes a lot more sense in this park than ArieForce does, but just because ArieForce is here, it makes that ride feel weird.
It does.
But if ArieForce wasn't here, that ride would make perfect sense here.
Yeah, it would.
Okay, before I go back to ArieForce, I do want to ride Hot Seat. Are you gonna ride with me, or you want to leave me?
I'll get some footage for you.
Okay. But yeah, this is an SNS Scream and Swing, but it's one of the OG ones. That's like small, like 2-seaters on each side. I've only ridden the larger, like park models, like Barnstormer at Dollywood. Actually, that's the only one I've ridden. But yeah, I'm interested what one of these like tiny ones feel like. These were some of the originals before they started doing the full size like park installation stuff. Interestingly enough, it actually felt somewhat more intense than the larger versions. I guess because it's just the two little seats. It felt like it had a little bit more kick to it, interestingly enough. Also, the cycle was slightly longer than Barnstormer Dollywood. That's my main problem with it, is that it's just too short. So I don't necessarily want to say that one's better, because obviously Barnstormer is larger and it has theming. And when they're running both sides, on the rare occasion they are, you get the fun like dueling interaction. But this definitely felt a lot punchier. So it definitely punched above its weight. It is weird that it's only 4 seats. We'll see if that's a problem as this park continues to grow. I know some other parks that have that version do it as an upcharge attraction because it's got really low capacity compared to the permanent park models that are out now. But there's not a problem with this place right now. Anyways, this is wild. You can see it is golden hour. So I'm gonna go get sunset rides on ArieForce One. I noticed this last time we were here. They added these like trees for some reason. I don't know, man. But yeah, so I decided to go get some more rides. Not feeling my best, we'll put it that way. So I don't know if I will be able to break my record today. But I got about an hour and a half to see how many rides I can get in without getting sick. And you'll join me for at least one night ride, you said?
I will.
So awesome. So probably not right now though, since it's just sunset. But I'll go ahead and start riding. You let me know when you wanna. You can just come up. I'll watch for you, and then we can get our night ride. So. Looking busy. I have no idea how, but it's warmed up so much from earlier today. Maybe some of it can be the darkness, but it is running so fast for no goddamn reason. Unfortunately, this is the busiest it's been all day. I guess because everyone knows how awesome night rides are. So do have to walk around now, but that's all right. All right, just finished up like a bunch of rides in ArieForce One. Met Dennis here. That is your name, right?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm really bad with names, so I gotta make sure. But we were in the back row, front row, kind of all over the train.
Yeah.
You moved here recently, so yeah, good ride, right?
Great ride.
Yeah,
Definitely one of the best.
The operations are terrible, but besides that, what were you doing?
I rode all 3 go-kart tracks. I even got a solo ride on one, and you should have heard me. I was just going like, whoa! Solo ride.
Anyways, we're about to head out here, but it's nice meeting you.
Likewise. Great time.
Maybe I'll see him again at some point. Who knows?
Hopefully.
Yeah.
Who
All right.
knows?
So a couple people were talking about there's like a bunch of like sheriffs here. So we were like, we don't know if something's going on or if they just show up to help close out the park. It would certainly make sense if they're just closing out the park because Fun Spot doesn't really have a security team. So it would totally make sense if the sheriffs come out to make sure the park's clear before they close for the night. So I assume that's what it is, but something might be going on. I don't know. Anyways, we're getting out of here. Dude, they don't even park ArieForce's train on the transfer. They park it on the bike run. It's so weird. Most parks cover their transfer tracks so that it keeps the trains safe from weather. So usually parks will park one on the covered transfer and one in the station to keep safe from weather. After we got off, they cycled it and they parked it up there. That's just strange. You can't see the ride at all, but that's a Raven Trust dive right there. Yeah, that thing.
All right, we're getting dinner at 8:30. What the heck is this? This is a Chick-fil-A apparently.
All right.
Okay, yeah, this is a place that exists.
All right, thank you.
When I said something crazy, I got fried okra at Chick-fil-A. I had to try one of the unique options they had there for this location.